One of the toughest things about the Area League isn't being fast, but it's being fast everywhere we go. So far, we've gone to Daytona, where I'm not the best, but it's tough to be bad at, and Homestead. It's my best mile and a half, but it's still a mile and a half. But this week's different. We're at New Hampshire, which might not technically be a short track, but it sure feels like one. I grew up racing flat tracks with no banking, so this should come right to me. Headed out for practice, and the car feels horrible. If you even look at that steering wheel the wrong way, it feels like this thing's ready to chuck you into the wall. But I'm actually doing an alright job of holding on to it, and I'm actually top 12 on speed in practice. And it couldn't be better timing. I'm up from 27th to 19th in the points, but I'm looking for another good finish to get inside the top 12 and make it into the playoffs. That was my goal for this season from the start, and it's starting to look pretty feasible. I know it's going to be my best shot at a good finish, but qualifying is still going to be important. Area qualifying doesn't have an outlet, so these tires are freezing cold, but I know not to push it too hard. Or maybe I don't, because the rear stepped out as I worked my way to the wall on the exit of 2. Can't have a good lap with mistakes like that, so we'll have to start this one down to 29th. I guess the one silver lining here is that there are a ton of penalties from Homestead, so my 29th place starting position turns to 21st in a hurry. Oh, and for some reason, Trading Paints, the software that lets everyone see each other's custom paint schemes, wasn't working on race night for some reason, so if the broadcast shots look a little off, that's probably why. We get going, and I'm ready to work my way to the front. Track position is going to be everything, and I know I can outrun a bunch of these cars immediately in front of me. Headed into turn 3, I send it down the inside to the car in front, but I can't find any traction on the apron and end up just falling back in line where I was. But he makes it easy on me the next lap when he makes a detour into the outside wall. Oh, and I didn't help him out there. That was just a little contact between him and the 35, and that was enough to send him into the wall. It is so loose out here that everyone is struggling for grip just about everywhere. Maybe I wouldn't be so worried with these moves if the track and the setup weren't as sketchy as they are. In practice, these things hurled themselves into the wall if you just looked at them the wrong way, and they're just as skatey now. Just 3 laps in, the rear stepped out on the exit at 2. I held it together, but the 09 did the same thing, and he got absolutely ran over for it. Back to it again on lap 7, and just on the edge of chaos on the restart. Literally rinse and repeat here. A lap and a half, and we're back under yellow. It was just a single car spin, but I can't even blame him. It is so insanely tough out here. Green flag on lap 12, and this field is still really tight. I tried to pass the cars in front of me for like 5 laps and couldn't make any progress. The only cars I ended up passing were the ones that wrecked on lap 18. Back to it again on lap 21, and again more of the same. Can't get a pass done. But some people definitely have it figured out. The 52 was able to get around me by braking late and using the apron to help turn the car. I finally get the job done myself and get a pass done on lap 25. I'm able to get around the slower 4 car pretty easily when he holds it tight on the apron. I think if I'm ever able to get to the outside of the majority of these cars right side on entry, I could roll the top and make it stick pretty easily. But that's not to say that the bottom is completely unviable. I grab a spot on the inside pretty easily after getting a good run off of turn 2 and head down the backstretch into turn 3. I also got a free spot off someone spinning on the exit of 4, moving me up to 18th. Another spin in the back on lap 32, and we're down pit road with everyone else the next lap. No one was feeling crazy enough to try and stay out and do anything insane, so I just come down for 4 tires, no need to get fancy with it. We'd have another useless caution, then back to real racing again on lap 40. I get a great jump and avoid the chaos, then roll the top with a lot of speed, and I'm able to beat out anybody who was bold enough to try and run the apron. There's a spin on a few cars in front of me 2 laps later, which moves me up to 12. That top 10 is so close, I can pretty much feel it. Another restart and another great jump. I'm challenging for 12th and 11th when the car in 11th spins out and I plow right... Oh, yeah. I don't know exactly what happened on that one. I've been so unlucky on iRacing this year. I'd say it's about time I got a gift. I lost 3 spots slowing down there, so I get back to running my line. I'm able to enter a middle lane, carry speed, and then cut down on exit with a straight drive off the corner. Keep at it with no real progress until the caution comes out on lap 54. Just running this race, I feel like I'm able to compete with a lot more cars than I was at Homestead, but to be honest, I feel like I'm putting myself under more pressure here. I know nights like this are going to be tough to come by, so I know how important it'll be to come up with a big points haul. This is my week, and I'm going to have to capitalize. For the first time all night, this pit stop brings a split decision on who comes down for tires and who doesn't. I decided to stay out because I don't think we've worn out our tires too much and because I desperately need that track position. Luckily, a lot of the cars that pit are cars I know that I'm quicker than, so now I don't have to worry about wasting time trying to find a way around them. Rolled off P11 on the restart, and everyone with new tires was buried pretty deep in the field there. We'd try a restart on lap 58, but they smarted the back, so we'd really get going on lap 62. But going into turn 1, I completely fumbled and downshifted too early. I was able to grab a handful of wheel and save it, but I lost like 3 spots in the process. But the bigger problem now is that a bunch of the guys who pitted made up ground, and now they're breathing down my neck. But I'm still not in a bad spot. If I can just hold on here. Or not. Yeah, I've got no excuses for that one. Just went to the power too quickly, trying to stay in the gas. But it was just one hit. I'm sure it wasn't that bad. Oh, yeah, this thing's killed. I get bailed out by an unrelated caution a lap later. I'd come down for those tires I clearly need and start to fix the 4.5 minutes worth of wheel damage. Over the next few laps, I'd stay at the back and only pass the cars that were more damaged than me, and come down for repairs during the cautions. Rinse and repeat the process 4 more times over the next 25 or so laps, and I think we're back in it. There's still a little damage, but we should be able to compete, especially now that half the field is probably as torn up as we are. Lap 98, and we're back to racing for positions. I pass a few damaged cars and then get loose slowing down for a wreck on the backstretch. But this is good because now I can get one of those fresh set of tires I was trying to save for when I was fully fixed. I line up P29 with 49 to go, and I'm confident I've got the speed, tires, and car to go drive through the field to a strong finish. As we come to the backstretch, surprise, surprise, they're wrecking. And when the car in front of me moves, turns out they were wrecking right in my path. I have cars behind me who haven't seen the crash, so I can't slow down too much. I'm barely able to squeeze by my spinning teammate and dodge the crash, but I can't run over the process and get hurled into the inside wall. Yeah, now watching that back, I should have just slowed down earlier, of course, but again, I didn't want to get run over like I have in the past, and this kind of proves there's always a threat of that happening. I mean, the real answer to this whole thing is just learn how to qualify, but who in their right mind would do that? My wheel's knocked about 45 degrees off center here, and I've got every kind of damage imaginable. I try to fix some of it while I'm at the back, but the reality is that with 45 to go, there's no way this car is getting fixed. So the plan is just to get this thing somewhat drivable, then go see what happens and what spots we can steal. Fast forward to 18 to go, and I fix the most damage I can. I'm in 31st, and I'm ready to go salvage everything I can from this night. I use the new tires to get around 3 cars that are in the same kind of shape that I'm in on the first lap. I try to go for more on the next lap, but I get crossed up on the exit of turn 2 and almost kill the 77 in the process. Luckily, everybody survives, and I don't lose too many positions because of it. I take another 2 spots before there's a big wreck with the backstretch on lap 135. I try to gain as many spots as I can when we go back to racing on lap 139, but a bunch of the other guys at the back having a miserable night like me have that same idea. Heading into turn 3, we go 4 wide for a spot outside the top 30. You already know how this is going to end, right? Yeah, I knew we were 4 wide, but I'm fairly sure I held my line here. Race officials agreed too, because I never got a penalty for it, but that would bring out the caution and another chance to get some more spots. Back to it on lap 143, and wow, this thing's steering wheel is jacked up. I'm able to be aggressive and get around a few of the slower cars in front. Plus, it's still tough to pass, so a bunch of the faster cars behind me can't just sail right around me. A lazy spin on lap 145 would put us under caution and bring us to another restart, which immediately brought out another caution, leading to a 3-lap shootout when the 88 car lost it. Starting on the outside for the next restart, and I'm just trying to hold on. I'm not moving off the outside line, which is the only place my car feels super stable. My only goal here is to survive and bring it home in one piece, a sentiment not echoed by the rest of the field. All around me, cars are half spinning on the apron, getting completely shuffled or stuffing it into the fence. With all the chaos around me, I just hold my line and bring it across the line in 17th. Between overcorrecting into the wall and driving into that wreck, I tried my hardest to make sure we ended up with a sub-30th place finish, but we ended up almost tying our best finish in this series yet. We're now in a points position where making the playoffs feels very real. I'm grateful to get out of here with a good finish, but there's a bunch of stuff we'll have to button up if we're going to want to take the fight to the front runners in this series. There's a string of tough tracks coming up, and my biggest opportunity to win one of these races yet. And you'll see me bring you all the action right here. Episode 4 is already in the works, and along with a ton of other really exciting projects that I can't wait for you to see. So make sure you're subscribed and like the video. And thank you to everyone. The channel has had some great momentum lately, and I can't wait for you guys to see what comes next.